Well, hello guys. I'm at a little spot I discovered a couple of years ago. Wanted to share this. So this is a rock with 5 spirals. So let's take a look. Now here as we enter, you can see it's been defaced a bit. I managed to stumble across it and I think it's worth sharing. So let's step into this little hole. And right here as we enter, on the left, there's our first spiral. Next one is directly across the way is the second spiral. Third, just a couple of more inches, almost 18 inches, is the next spiral. So, and let's step on through. And so I'm through the gap. There it is. Next spiral. And there's one more here somewhere. There was the fourth spiral. And the fifth is right here. This one is, the fifth one is approximately 4 to 5 inches across. The fourth here is probably 6 to 8 inches. And let's go back around to the first two. One of the interesting things, well, it's actually interesting there. Never noticed that before. Zigzag goes up along there. It starts quite a ways down here. What I was going to say is one of the interesting things is I haven't seen any other glyphs here at all, but I just proved myself wrong. So, and there was the third that we looked at, and the second, and back out to the first. So glad I could share that with you. Well, here I am sitting on this little ledge and wondering if there's a way to get a picture of the petroglyphs that's behind me. So let's give it a try. So maybe you can see them here. This is an amazing panel I've only seen from down below. And I was wondering how they got up here. There's some interesting glyphs on here. All right, let me turn around and walk back down. I've just been sitting here observing this for a few minutes. And it must have been a special spot. I mean, there was definitely some risk to carve here. But from down on the ground, lots of people could look up here and see what the elder or one of the wise people telling what the story was about the different people that are in this glyph, the lines and what they meant. So my guess, this is a special learning place. I always like to think of these as a place where an elder or his assistant could stand and tell the story of what these glyphs meant, so that people could learn and remember that tale to carry on to the next generation for hundreds, thousands of years. So that's my thoughts for this site. Yeah, I just did not feel comfortable standing up on the top of that. Maybe if I had a rope or something, but not just on my own. Well, next stop for today is this little overhang. So it's a really cool spot. There's some really neat things in here, so let's get in. And I think we'll start over here on this side. First off, probably notice there are quite a few fairly old petroglyphs in here. I'll see what I can do to point some of these out. So we'll start to get in closer and you see them. A lot of these are quite worn. I think these have been here a long time. These two up here look a little bit newer than most, as well as that. But these down here on this lower surface are quite old. Kind of an interesting circle, spiral, something there. So quite a few lines here that obviously have some meaning. One of the most interesting things is you got these deep incised grooves. And they tend to culminate in a little pit at the bottom. So let me get the camera up a little closer. And some zigzags. Got more over here, and even more here. It's interesting, that one that converges two lines into one. There's more glyphs there, older petroglyphs, and lines. There's an interesting little glyph there, so let's enjoy that one for today. But the coolest thing is this section right here. These paintings have baskets or jugs and anthropomorphs. These are really, really interesting. They're kind of small glyphs as far as the detail goes. That basket or jug is probably 8 inches tall. This anthropomorph, the larger of the two, is maybe 8 inches as well. And this basket as well. Let's get this little interesting grid hatch pattern right there. And it does appear to be something here, so. Anyways, there it is. That's one of the coolest things of this mountain. Well, I'm just about back to the car. Made my little loop. And here's that one again. View from the bottom. And let's just zoom in for a second on it. There you go. It's quite a special panel, interesting panel. I'm glad I found another way to get up there close to it. Beautiful day out here. The cactuses are just about to bloom. The penstemons are just about to bloom, so I may have to make my way out here every couple of weeks and watch for those to bloom. So, the desert's a beautiful place in the springtime. Well, I don't think I had noticed this before at this site. I got a remnants of a little pit house right here. So let's take a little quick look. There's the inside of one little structure. looks like apparently another structure here. And another here. And around this curve. So a lot of times structures in the southwest here will be kind of a C-shaped structure. And these rocks have all tumbled and has probably been looted. Worth remembering at least. So you can see all these rocks here, the rubble that is tumbled down, which would have been a wall around this structure here. So well, I looked at the time and decided I had 15 minutes to spare. So I walked over to this little hole right here. It's always worth a look. Let's get in a little closer. So, I guess some anthropomorphs here. And then one of the interesting things is up here on the ceiling. Got a couple more. Some zigzags and lines, and appears to be some more anthropomorphs. So, worth remembering this site. While it still is here. A couple more little marks here. Let's see if we can find them. On the ceiling. And a couple more here. These are a little harder to see, but kind of interesting. Find another spot to put my knees. Interesting little panel here. An enjoyable spot. Worth a 15-minute detour. All right. And I almost forgot. Actually, I did forget. I got just past this and looked over and saw them. And then I remembered they were here. So, here you go. Interesting little curve in the rock right here. It's got this zigzag sets in it. Kind of interesting. So I can get a little closer on some of these too. Never know what you're gonna miss if you turn around and walk away. And I'm glad I turned the right direction today. Anyways, that's about it for today. Remember, visit these sites respectfully. Take in everything you can see, but be safe. One more thing I thought I'd mention is that at this site, well, many sites, but here in the desert especially, things tend to last forever, which is why we have these marks still here, the petroglyphs, the pictographs, the pit houses, the dwelling locations, all the rock art, all the symbology that's here in the desert is because things stay in the desert, which also means your Coke cans, your Pepsi cans, your shotgun casings, and everything else I've seen on my walk today are still out here, and they may still be here in 50 years, unless I get tired of it and come out and pick them all up, which is a very real possibility. But in the meantime, stay safe, visit respectfully, and if you carry it in, carry it back out with you too. Bye all.